Once upon a time, in a small village house, Ramesh lived with his wife, Radha, and his mother, Savitri Devi. Ramesh was the only son in the family and his mother's beloved child. After marriage, Radha became the daughter-in-law of the household. Initially, everything went smoothly, but gradually the clashes between the mother-in-law and daughter-in-law began to grow. Radha felt that her mother-in-law constantly taunted her, while Savitri Devi believed that Radha didn't do household chores properly and had completely swayed Ramesh. "What kind of watery vegetable have you cooked today?" Savitri Devi complained one day during lunch. Radha retorted angrily, "If you want the perfect vegetable, why don't you cook it yourself?" Such small arguments escalated over time. Ramesh, trying to keep both women happy, often found himself caught in the middle and feeling crushed. Savitri Devi would say, "Your wife doesn't respect me at all. I raised you, and now she wants to throw me out of the house." Meanwhile, Radha would complain, "Your mother always tries to put me down. Am I just a servant in this house?" Ramesh was helpless. He loved both his mother and wife deeply and couldn't take sides. Yet, both women expected him to support them exclusively. One day, the argument reached a breaking point when Savitri Devi declared, "If this girl keeps disrespecting me, either she stays in this house or I do. You'll have to decide." This ultimatum left Ramesh distressed. He tried reasoning with Radha, but she too said, "You always side with your mother. I can't stay here anymore. Either you talk to her or I'll go back to my parents' house." Ramesh felt overwhelmed. The pressure from both sides broke him mentally, and he walked out of the house, heading to a nearby pond. By the pond, he met his friend Mohan, who noticed his troubled face and asked, "What's wrong? You look so worried." Ramesh poured his heart out, telling him everything. Mohan chuckled and said, "Your mother and wife need to understand that you're not a rope to be tugged from both sides. You need to talk to them firmly." Ramesh realized Mohan was right. He returned home and sat both women down for a clear conversation. "Mother Radha, you both are important parts of my life, but I'm exhausted being stuck in the middle of your arguments. If you both could try to understand each other and resolve your differences, our home can be peaceful. If not, I will leave this house myself." Savitri Devi and Radha realized how unfair they had been to Ramesh. Both acknowledged their mistakes. Over time, the mother-in-law and daughter-in-law began making efforts to understand and get along. Savitri Devi started appreciating Radha's work, and Radha began showing more respect to her mother-in-law. Ramesh was finally happy to see his family united. This story teaches us that communication and compromise are essential in relationships. Without dialogue, problems cannot be solved, and those caught in the middle often suffer the most.